So my name is Teemu Kettula. I'm coming from Asiakastieto, where I'm working as a compliance stream lead, Nordically. Today I'm going to tell you how Asiakastieto have solved a Swedish company's ownership data collection. But before that, I would like to take a few topics. So first of all, I hope that we take all the questions in the end of the speech, and then you are welcome to our booth to discuss more with me and my colleagues. And second of all, I'm very grateful for my colleagues who have selected me to speak here today for this important matter. But in any case, let's have some fun. I guess everybody knows what that is in the wall. Yeah, it's a watch. It has one purpose or one simple task: to show time. And if you reflect that, it's a simple task, but when you put it to this context, then it becomes much more difficult to produce that time for the pilot to the cockpit. So basically all of these nuts and bolts and frames and classes, they are meant to fit together perfectly. And if they don't fit together perfectly, if one of the pieces in the puzzle are failing, then the pilot doesn't have the time. Same thing applies to ownership data. It's a very simple thing, or it has a simple purpose, and it is to show who owns what. Again, when you put it to context, and there is, by the way, ownership can be simple, and it can be complicated, or very complicated. But like, the complexity comes from multiple layers. One of the layers is actually the ownership structure, how it looks like. And the other complexity is the data availability. So today, like, not every country has publicly available data when it comes to ownership information. And in Nordic context, like, only Denmark and Norway have publicly available ownership data for all of the ABs or like limited companies in their respective countries. In Finland, Asiakastieto have collected ownership data from companies 2 decades now. And it is merely for the reason that public authorities have not made this data available. In Sweden, 2 years ago, when we started investigating this topic, we saw that no single player who has tried to solve this issue has done it satisfactory or in satisfactory level. So, and there is no enough data in Sweden either. Plus, it's not publicly available. So we started investigating and like innovating how could we do this at Enento. And now, like soon it became apparent to us that you can find this information from the shareholder meeting minute protocol documents. When the shareholders are annually meeting, you can see from the notes of the meeting that who participated to the meeting. And again, very simple, unique task to look into the document, which is available in Bolagsverket, the National Trade Registry. That like who are participating in the shareholder meeting, and then looking like, okay, these are the shareholders, but they are not necessarily all of the shareholders. But in any case, the data is available in Sweden with the documents, and now in the next slide I will tell you how we have processed the information. But before that, I want to mention one thing more. So the context of the ownership data. So it is used mainly, in my point of view, in 3 different strategic teams or use case teams. So regulatory compliance, making the customer onboarding journey more efficient, and then lead generation and deal sourcing for different fields. And now, basically, this is what I started speaking about, so like about the protocol documents. We have a two-sided process at Enento. So basically, we can onboard new companies into our database, and then we can keep the existing records up to date with exactly the same process. But let's start with the onboarding first. So how does Enento onboard new Swedish companies into the database? We start by looking into Bolagsverket API if they have available protocol documents. We extract those documents. Then we OCR read the document. So basically we give the computer the document and the computer reads it with the OCR toolset and it produces for us text file. And now that text file we throw into the LLM data model, like models, large language models. So you know it probably better ChatGPT or like Copilot, like in pragmatic use. But then we utilize those models, and roughly 90% of the cases the computer can derive correctly, and we trust the computer. And 10% of the times we are manually handling the difficult cases, so to say, so doing manual annotation for the correcting the data. And this is now when you read one document. And when we have read the document itself, we start analyzing the document in 3 steps, basically. First, we look and perform entity resolution. Do we know the shareholder which came out of this document already previously, by if they are persons or if they are companies? And then we look how many shares we actually identified from the total amount of shares that company actually have reported in Bolagsverket. And we are satisfied for the result if we see that we have reached 90% plus 1 share. That is, that we are able to support our banking customers to perform high-risk case analysis when it comes to beneficial owner calculations. And now with this, like if the 90% plus 1 share threshold is not met, we ran the same process again. So in the first instance, we ran the latest document. And now we go for 1 document to the history. And then we run the loop again. And then we are again doing the shareholder analysis after the entity resolution. If we yet don't meet the 90% plus 1 share, we do it again until we find 90% plus 1 share. And then when we are satisfied with the result, we start looking who are the shareholders, who are the latest shareholders. And if there is Swedish companies owning more than certain threshold, and by default we use 10% as that analysis threshold, then we run the company analysis for that company as well, leading to ownership structure analysis. And we do it as long as it takes with the 10% analysis. And this means that we are piling up the complete ownership structure information into our database, available for all of you, for Swedish companies. And now, I earlier told you that Enento has Finnish data, but we also have the publicly available data in Norway and Denmark. We combine all of this. So we do all the entity resolution for our customers so that we can provide cross-Nordic ownership data. Sounds very easy. It's not. Everything boils down to data quality. And our kind of attempt is that, like, at least for companies, every company in the ownership, we would have 3 data points: name, business ID, and country of incorporation. With that, we can do the entity resolution very good. And that takes time to analyze it. At Enento, we make the data available very easily for our customers. First of all, the data we make available through batch files, through our APIs, through our user interfaces. And then we make available monitoring solution. As I told, we are updating the records automatically in our database. So when there is a new protocol document, we read it and understand it and put it to the database. And then we can pass on the information to our customers who want to subscribe for the changes. And now on top of this, we make all of these delivery mechanisms available for our customers with filtration mechanisms. So you only pay for what you actually want. We support data minimalization, so we can remove all the not wished for shareholders, say minority shareholders that might be, which are not necessarily needed to perform KYC, like 1% shareholders or less. So then you can remove the noise. Imagine if you have 5 listed companies or 6 listed companies in the ownership. Like it might be so that you have 1 million shareholders in total. Maybe your systems are crashing for that, but you don't need that data actually. And then we combine the data also to our existing products, information products, like how we derive the beneficial owners, so that our customers would have second opinion on top of the officially available beneficial owner registries. So that everybody knows how good quality they are. But yeah, that was it. If you have any questions, well, maybe we have some time for those, but you can meet me in the booth.